That took a month for this to come in. I think it's glossed up. 06 Pontiac GTO bumper. Honestly, not bad, bro. I think you got a steal, bro, to be honest. There are a couple scuff marks here, but yeah, for real. A couple scuff marks, but you can get rid of this. There's a little scuff mark right there. Get rid of that. Get rid of this too. And then some scuff marks down here. And I can just sand all that down and just paint over it. I'll probably start doing prep work. Maybe tomorrow or like sometime over the weekend, I'll start sanding everything down and start prepping it. All right, as you guys can see, I have finished sanding down the front of the bumper with 220 grit. I still have the bottom of the bumper along with the top of the bumper to sand down, but for the most part, the front of the bumper is sanded down. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to 320 grit, and then after 320 grit, we'll move on to 400 grit, and then after that, we'll go ahead and lay down the first layer of primer. All right, we have finished sanding down the whole bumper. I just went ahead and skipped all the sanding part for you guys just to save some time. We are now ready to put on the first layer of primer, but before putting on the primer, I like to hit the whole bumper with adhesion promoter just to make it stick to the bumper. All right, first layer of primer has been put down. As you can see, I went with a light coat because I am building off of this coat. I'm not too worried about covering up the whole bumper because I will come back in the coats afterwards, the second, third coat, and cover up the rest of the bumper. I just wanted to lay down the primer first just to make sure everything sticks and that the primer coats I'm laying down afterwards has something to stick onto instead of just bare plastic. Second layer of primer is on. This is a huge difference from the first layer of primer. In the last clip, you saw there were patches right here, there were some patches right here. It looked like the whole bumper wasn't covered, but this is what I was talking about when I meant to basically lay down a light coat, because when you lay down a light coat, your second coat of primer has something to stick onto. Just finished the third layer of primer, and as you can see, the whole bumper is basically covered in it. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and let the primer dry from 3 to 5 hours. I know it's kind of excessive, but I personally just would rather make sure my primer is completely dry rather than start sanding and then mess up the primer and have to go through it all over again. So we're gonna go ahead and let this dry for 3 to 5 hours, and after that, we're gonna start wet sanding it to smoothen out the primer with 600 grit sandpaper. Finally our paint has arrived. We got the base coat, and I think they left the clear coat. Yep, clear coat is under there too. The reason why it took so long to grind this video out was because it took a month for this to come in, but this is what we're gonna be using: the automotive touch-up base coat, and then they also sent in the best clear coat, 2K clear coat. So close to finally painting this bumper. Let's go ahead and wipe it down with grease and wax remover, and then once that has fully dried, we're gonna hit it with this tack cloth. This will remove any type of debris that's on the bumper so that we don't accidentally spray over it. Here's a better look of the first layer. So I did the same thing I did with the primer. I just went for a light coat. I wasn't looking for full coverage or anything like that. I just wanted to lay down a good enough layer so that the second and third layer of base coat has something to stick onto. Second layer is laid down. As you can see, some of the patches that we had before in the first layer are mostly covered up, but we still got one more layer, the third layer, so that will basically catch any imperfections, but not bad for a spray can job. All right, third coat is on. The whole bumper is covered evenly now. So we're gonna go ahead and let this dry for 30 minutes, and then we are ready to put on a 2K clear coat. First layer of clear coat has been put down. As you can see, it's not as dull as it was before, but we still don't have the gloss that we want yet. Final layer of clear coat has been put down, and as you guys can see, this thing is glossed up. We are basically done painting the bumper. That's really all it takes just to paint a bumper. Just 3 major steps: just primer, base coat, and clear coat, and of course like a bunch of small things in the middle. But as for the most part, the bumper is basically done. If you guys really wanted to really get into it and get rid of all the orange peel, like right here or something like that, you can always just wet sand the whole bumper with 1500 grit, moving up to like 2000, and then cut and buff the whole bumper. Then you'll really get it shining without all the orange peel. But for the most part, if you're just trying to paint it and just get it nice, this is it. That's all you have to do. As for the next video, I guess I'm gonna show you guys the car I copped. It's been my dream car since I was a kid. I threw a little snippet in the video earlier. You guys probably already know what it is, but I'm gonna make a full-on detailed video on the car, plans for the car, and all that good stuff. But until then, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one.